What's up everybody, NCmotoRIDER here, and this is part 2 of the complete Vstrom build guide. In this video I'm going to talk about the accessories that I've put on the Vstrom to make it mine. They are going to be in no particular order, and I will probably talk about some of them in a future video but go into more detail. So let's get started. So to start with, I want to talk about my handlebars and my bar risers. The handlebars are Pro Taper ATV High SE bars. They're very similar to the OEM bars as far as the height, but the sweep is a little different and they're a whole lot wider, and I really like the width of these bars. I also know that these bars are actually really popular as far as the Vstrom goes. I had a 2005 back a few years ago and I put the same bars on it, and it just changed the bike completely. Then the risers I'm using are the Rox risers. Now what I really like about them is you have the adjustment here where they connect to the triple clamp itself, so you can move the risers, down and up or back and forth, however you want to say it. And then you also have the adjustment where your bars hook into the risers, so you can move your bars back and forth. So there's so much adjustment that you can do with these. I mean, it took a few rides to get them set up exactly how they were very comfortable to me, but I really like all the adjustments. And as far as the cables, I did have to get a longer brake line right here. Now this bike has ABS, so this goes down to the ABS split or whatever you want to call it, but I had to get a longer one of these for these bars and risers to work. The throttle cables and the clutch cable, haven't had any issues with those. Those were plenty long enough, so there's no issues there. I installed Oxford heated grips on this bike. Here's the controller right here. It's literally just hit the plus and it goes all the way up to 100%, and then the minus brings it back down and then turns them off. Now these are, I believe, I want to say they're the touring grips. They have different models. There's touring, adventure, cruiser, and sport, I believe, and the difference in them is the length. I'm pretty sure these are the touring because the adventure ones I think I put on another bike I had, and they were a little bit too long, so I had to cut some of the end off, but these I did not have to cut. These are wired up actually to a fuse block. I have all my accessories wired to a fuse block, so if I was to leave something on, whenever I turn the switch off, everything cuts off and I don't have to worry about anything draining my battery. But I will go into detail with that in a future video. The Oxford grips, they were, I think at the time I bought them, they were around like 90 bucks. They're very inexpensive if your bike didn't come with heated grips and you want heated grips. It's a very inexpensive way to have them. And like I said, they were not hard at all to install. And even on like 50-70%, these things get warm. They get very warm. And I've used them in the cold and they work great. Now the best thing you can have to keep your hands warm is hand guards to keep the wind off of them. Now I may end up taking the hand guards off when it gets summertime because, like I said, they work really good for blocking wind, so my hands sometimes get hot in the summer. They're a very good option if you want heated grips and you don't already have it. I actually got these mirrors and the mirror extenders from Amazon. Both were very inexpensive. The mirrors, I believe, were around 30 or 40 bucks. And then the mirror extenders, I think they were around, I don't know, 10, maybe $12, I think. And they actually come with all the different bolts and stuff to fit 8 and 10 millimeter. I believe the Vstrom uses the 10 millimeter. But these were very inexpensive. And they do the exact same job as the more expensive extenders, which I don't think is necessary. These work just fine, and they allow the mirror to extend out just enough where I'm not looking at my shoulders the entire time I'm riding. That was the issue I was having, so I went with the extenders, and they work great. Never had an issue out of them since I've had them. So if you're needing mirror extenders, check those out on Amazon. Also installed GV luggage racks with these GV business case bags. I can't remember the model number, but they do not make these anymore. I actually got this one and the other one and a third one, which is in the house, for like 200 bucks for all three of them. Now the one that's in the house, I don't carry it on up here because I needed the bigger top box just to carry stuff and whatnot. I've used different sets of GV luggage and all of them have been good, but I'm not going to go into too much detail with this luggage because a lot of the luggage is just what somebody likes. I got these just because they were all cheap and they weren't good enough to carry some stuff. In the future, I would like to have some bigger, like boxy panniers. The top case I don't mind too much. I like that one, it's fine. It's like 46 liters, so it holds a whole lot. I can put my helmet in it whenever I get off the bike and was going maybe into a store or something. GV luggage can be found a lot of times like on Marketplace or something like that for pretty cheap. Like I said, I got these, well, 3 cases for $200, so that was a pretty good deal. But it works for me, so I'm happy with it for now. But at some point I would like to upgrade my luggage. Now this is the Atlas Throttle Lock. This, in my opinion, is the best non-cruise control that I've used. I've used the bar-in cruise control or throttle lock. I've used the one that clips on and then kind of holds against your brake lever. This thing right here, it works so good. Now, it's not cruise control, so when you're going up and downhill, you're going to have to adjust the throttle because it doesn't do it for you. But it works great for if you're on a straight road and just need to rest your hand. You can set it. You literally just roll the throttle where you want it, lock it in place, and it will stay there. And then you can still move the throttle around as you need to. And then to cut it off, you just hit the X and it cuts right off and doesn't hold anymore. Now this thing, I think at the time I bought it, it was around $140. To me, it's worth it. I think it's great. And like I said, it works phenomenal, like on a straight road for me. Now it takes a little bit of finagling to get it just right in here because it comes with these little pads that install into the back of it, and that's what pushes against the throttle housing, and that holds the throttle. It's a little pad right in there that holds it. But this thing is awesome. If you don't have a throttle lock but want some way to, even if it's just to rest your hand, I suggest getting one of these. Really like it. It's a great product. Also installed 4 LED lights. These are the Nightlight lights from Amazon. They came with the 2 lights and a switch, you know, on a relay and everything. These work great. They're very inexpensive, and I've had them on, I believe, like 3 or 4 bikes at this point. Never had really any issue with them. This one over here looks like it's got a little bit of moisture inside of it, which I haven't done it, but I think I can take it apart and like reseal it so it doesn't do that. And then I also have a light on my forks on either side, so then whenever I turn the handlebars, I kind of have light going whichever way I'm going. Now these were given to me by a friend of mine. These are the ADV Monster, I think, Model 30. I don't think that they make these anymore. I've tried to find them online and I cannot. But I will actually go into more detail on these in a future video when I go over the wiring, because there is a lot of wiring on this bike that I've done myself. So we'll save that for another video, but these lights are great, especially for nighttime. And I had to play with them a little bit to angle all 4 of them a certain way where I can use them at night but not blind everybody I come in contact with, because I have had them angled like up too far and I'm pretty much just blinding everybody. But I finally got them to where nobody really flashes me at all anymore. But I try not to ride at night. I don't mind it, but I don't like it because everybody is just crazy. Now this bar that the lights are on, this came from Adventure Tech. Adventure Tech sells this bar. I think it's like $30, but it's perfect. It bolts right up underneath here, and then you have a hole on each end to mount your lights. I got mine mounted on the underside. You can mount them on top if you want. It's pretty much up to you, but this bar is awesome. I have not found any other bar that works as good as this one. These are the highway pegs that I made. Well, I actually bought the 1-inch square tubing and then had some angle iron welded onto each end. There's another piece over on the other end. And then these pegs are from Happy Trails. Happy Trails makes these pegs. Now they actually make their own version of this same setup pretty much. And I did own one at one time, but the one they sell is too short, in my opinion, for my bike and for me. It may work for other people. I just bought the square tubing, had the welds done and everything for me, and then I just bought the pegs, and then they bolt on right up under here, and then they fold up and down. But these things, the highway pegs are great. If you're going to be on any long rides, it's awesome to just be able to throw your feet up, just to sit in a different position just for a few minutes. I got the highway pegs U-bolted to my crash bars, and I mean, it's solid. They're not going anywhere. Alright guys, well that's pretty much it for the accessories. Now I didn't mention really nothing about the crash bars, but like the luggage, that is personal preference, and depending on whichever brand you want to go with. There are so many accessories that you can get for a Vstrom, like it's ridiculous. But I'm happy with everything I've got. If you guys have any questions about any of the accessories that I showed you in the video, let me know down in the comments. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, definitely get subscribed, because there's going to be more build videos after this one. And I'll see you guys in the next one.